Okay, game designers, this is Mr. Sparks, and this is going to be lesson number 5 of your Endless Runner uh, game project. So we're going to go ahead and jump back into it and add a little bit of variety to our course, add a couple of new um, tiles. So last video we left off, we had got our course spawning, so our character's running down and our course is spawning behind us. I'm going to press F8 to kind of jump out of here, and we can kind of see how that our course is generating new tiles in front and destroying the ones behind us. So that's where we're at right now. So we're going to go ahead and jump back in here, and we're going to create a couple of more different actors tiles. So if you go over here in your blueprints and go into your actors folder, and in your master tile, we're going to create some children, so we don't have to redo all the code in here. So we're just going to add some child blueprints based off of this and just modify a few things as we go. So just right click on your master tile, actor blueprint here, and we're going to say create child blueprint class. So we're going to create a child, and we're just going to call this, we'll just take the child part off and say ramp up. Okay, and we'll go ahead and double click that to open that up. And now we'll have, looks just identical to your master tile. The only difference is you'll see up here, is you'll see the parent class will say master tile, and all these things here will all say inherited. If you look over on your event graph, anything that we've done over here will also say parent. So we're going to modify this a little bit and kind of go from there. So what we have here on this one is this is about 500, so it's about 1,000, I guess. So let's look at our master tile real quick and see what our floor dimensions is. So it's about negative 500, so it's about 1,000 units. So we'll go back here, and what we're going to do is we're going to add in here, we're going to add a ramp. So we're going to go ahead and add a component, and we're going to do a static mesh component, and we'll just call this ramp up. And the one we're going to look for is a wedge. So we're going to say, I think it's wedge shape A, and let's see what we get. And let's try wedge shape B and see if that's a better one. Yeah, that's the one we want. So we want to go this wedge shape B. Okay, so it's much smaller, so we're just going to drag it down here a little bit. And we're going to rotate it around. So we'll just go here on our Z rotation and say 180. And we're going to adjust the scale on this thing a little bit. So we want to kind of drag it out here a little bit, out to the edge, about 850 looks like. And it looks like that's going to work pretty well. Okay, now what we'll need to do here is we're going to have to adjust on the scale. So let me go here to the, let's just go to the top so we can kind of see this. So we want this to be this wide here. So if we go here on our XY scale, and that's probably going to be, let's try 5. That's not near enough. 10 looks like what we need. Okay, so we're going to go about 10 on that, and let's on our X axis. Let's try 2.5. Let's try 5. Okay, that looks pretty good. Drag this on down. Back to our perspective. See. Okay, and we're also going to scale this on the Z-axis. So let's say 2.5 on the Z. That gives us probably a nice little ramp here, and I believe that will work pretty well. Let's make sure here on the left side. Okay, we want this to kind of go right out next to the edge of this here. So let's go ahead and back this up to right there. So your location here can be like 1050 on your X location. And that should be pretty much what you want. So what you're going to do on this one is you're basically going to tell it that you want, as you move this down on the x-axis 1050 units, then you want to rotate it 180 degrees, change your x scale to be 5, your y scale to be 10, and your z scale to be 2.5. Okay, and let's see if we'll have to do something else on our walls here at some other point, but for now we're just going to we'll kind of leave this the way it is. Now the one thing we need to do is we're also going to have to take our end trigger here, and we're going to have to move this down. So let's go ahead and go back to a left view. This will give us a nice side view here, and we'll just kind of drag this down to right about there, and we'll drag it up to it's about right there. Okay. We'll also need to move our attach point. So we're going to move our attach point down, and we'll drag it up. So I believe that should do it there. So our attach point's new X location should be 1300, and its Z location should be 250. And our end trigger, if you click that, you should have a new X location of 1300 and a Z location of 435. If we move that up one more notch, yeah, we can move it up one more notch, and that'll be good. Let's see, let's back it up to there. Okay, so let's go location of 1290, Z location of 445, and that should take care of that part. Okay, we'll go ahead and compile that. If we were to go and add a material to this, for this, if we were to go and use this brick, what you'll find out this old is you'll see the bricks are like really huge where the scaling is so bad. So let's try maybe we have a concrete. No, yeah, we do actually have concrete, or let's just go. Let's go rock maybe. Let's go with this rock here, and that looks okay. Could try that. Let's go with this one. Okay, so just kind of like this is a ramp. So we may come back and create some better materials later. Okay, so that pretty much takes care of that one. We're going to go ahead while we have this one here. We're just going to right click on this one, and we're just going to duplicate it. Okay, so we've already added our things through there. We don't want to redo any more than we have to, so we'll say ramp down. Okay, and then we'll open this one up and go over to our viewport, and you'll notice we have everything is already still here. So what we want to do this time is take this right here, and we'll just change its rotation back to 0, and that will turn it back. So this ramp will actually go down, and let's go to our left view here, and or if it's a little more convenient, let's get a right view. That'll put it on this side. And what we need to do is, here's our tile, so what we'll need to do is we need to just drag this straight down to here. So now we'll have our ramp should hit right there. We'll also need to move our attach point and our end trigger. So we can select both those by holding Control, and we'll drag these down. And we'll zoom in here and see. Okay, so that should make it. So the attach point should now have a location of 1300 on the X still, and it should have a -250 on the Z. And our end trigger should have a location of 1290 and a -55 on Z. So that'll pretty much cover these 2 points, and you'll kind of see where how this works here in just a minute. So we'll compile that, look at it, looks pretty good. We might have to adjust some of the scaling a little bit if it doesn't work as well as we want it to. So we'll try it out and then see, and if we have to make any adjustments, we'll make those. Okay, so we can go ahead and close these down, I do believe. And really all we need to do to get this going is go to our game mode, and in our endless runner game mode, we'll go over here and not in our starting floor tile, but we're going to go into our add floor tile. And what we'll do is we'll click this variable, and since we have 1, 2, 3 tiles, we're going to add 2 array elements. So let's go 1, 2. And if we just type in master tile, we've got ramp up, and the other one will say ramp down. Okay, so now with this add floor tile, it can now choose between 0 and 2, and it will pick which one of these tiles that it needs. So really we don't have to do anything else to that. Let's just make sure that our, okay, so we are using this one with 0, so it will only do the master tile and the starting tile. So let's go ahead and test this thing out and see what happens. So we're going to go ahead and hit, the first few should be straight, and so here we are, and it looks like we are going to be going down. So sure enough, our character is going to go down. Here we go, we're going down again, and we get another tile. And we'll fix this where we have a few more, instead of having just, you know, back-to-back tiles like this. So I'm going to press F8 and just kind of jump out of here. And what you can see is, you can see how this is like randomly, it still is destroying the ones behind it, and it's kind of like varying our course up and down, just depending on the way that it picks it. So that is really what we're looking for. We'll get into the point of actually adding corner tiles where we can do that. So we'll set up a little bit more to make sure that we spawn so many flat tiles or so many level tiles after we do a ramp up or down or a corner, and in that way we won't have as many just up and down straight. So that's pretty much all we need to do for this video. Go ahead and get that done pretty quick, and we'll do some corners and start learning how to add some obstacles in the next one.